Dick, also known as Social Cinema. We are live, Fred Hampton leftist. Right now, it's just me and Rome today. On Thursday, we usually have the whole roundtable A1 here, but it'd be me and Rome here today. How you doing, Rome? I also want to make sure we're on YouTube because I don't see us. I don't see the YouTube link. Oh, there we go. Never mind. I got it. Anyway, how you doing, Rome?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Just helping my family out with some crap. That's why I'm out here.
Yeah, what's been going on? I know you currently on tour. Where you at right now?
Shit, right now I'm at my brother's house in Detroit, but I'll be on my way to Ohio after I'm done with the show, basically.
All right, cool. So we are a little bit short staffed today for this podcast, but let me tweet this out. Podcast. What is this? 8? I think it's 8. But I have a few things we're gonna break down. We're gonna talk about. Mostly it'll be me and Rome and RJ gonna join us here very soon. Let us know when you are in the chat. Say hi. We may have some time. If we have like 15 minutes at the end, if you guys have any questions, I might try to save them so we can go over that. I'm just trying to tweet the link out now. All right, cool.
What's good, Peter?
You know, I'll tell you because that's what it looked like.
There we go. We got some people in here now. We got people on the Twitch side, Rocky Flame. Good friend of the show. Peter's in the house as well. Let me get the first story because the first thing I kind of want to rip on. I kind of want to wait till RJ get here, but I can have his take afterwards. Do you see the recent thing that Obama was saying, Rome?
I didn't even check in because I actually made my Obama census was tingling. I made a video. I didn't even check in. I was just at my cousin's birthday party, and I was just like, you know what? I feel like talking shit about Obama. You know, it was just like, but I haven't even seen what he was talking about. I knew that he called Trump a couple of new names in his new book, but as far as
the Trump thing was not. I'll show you.
You might be talking about why he didn't stand up for social rights, right?
I can show you the story. Yeah. I can show you the story
because he's a fucking sellout. What the fuck?
Let me. I can share non-videos on HAP. So I'll pull an article so you guys can see, and we can break down what Obama was saying here. Let's see. Give me 1 second. I'll find a story and then we can discuss it. There it is. Oh yeah, I also want to talk about. We also gonna roast Biden as well. I saw someone say they're very sorry about the Jimmy show. Yeah, that's gonna be lit. I'm looking forward to roasting Joe Biden with Jimmy Dore because right now you have massive media propaganda on the behalf of Dore. So we're gonna laugh at the story that they was running in the Hill as well. Where I mean, because ever since Biden started, it's been nonstop propaganda. But this is the Obama story that I was referring to. So I'll show it to you guys now. Let me share this. There you go. See, Obama says institutional restraints kept him from commenting on the killings of Black Americans. Let's see what he actually said here. It's pretty wild. Former President Obama said that institutional restraints prevented him from speaking out about the killings of Black Americans during his time in the White House. Obama's foundation, My Brother's Keeper, on Wednesday hosted a forum. So this pretty much was I mean, he's been doing the rounds in the media recently, and this is where he was talking about how I felt for Black Americans. See, this is what he was saying right here. Obama knows that there were several high-profile killings of Black Americans, including Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown, and Alton Sterling during his time in office, but said he didn't want to interfere with the Justice Department's investigation. So Obama definitely 100% could have been a much better ally, and he framing this as him. Oh man, I couldn't do that much. I couldn't do that much to stop it. But that's everyone know that is lying and that's misleading. Cause let me show you guys this. Let me share this. And I want to give you your thoughts on this wrong. So it wasn't that Obama hands are tied. He was complicit with the smearing of people standing up for Black Lives Matter. And there's a reason why Black Lives Matter started under Obama. You guys remember this? Obama calls Baltimore rioters criminals and thugs. You remember that, Rome?
Right.
I don't know we brought Russell Barack Obama.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
And I always say, you know, he always pops up out of the woodwork. You know what I'm saying? When it's time for us to actually stand up for rights and for each other, you know what I'm saying? He's not on our side. And I don't understand why people actually even go for this shit. And by people actually still falling for his shit, it actually, you know what I'm saying, proves that his claim is false of him not being popular enough not to do anything about this, or not being popular enough to stop these killings, or maybe lead some type of civil rights movement. He was popular enough to make all black people, I'm pretty sure most black people in America, do something, you know. But every time this nigga, you know, every time we did come up, he was calling us thugs. He was calling us. He was saying we should go back home, don't riot.
he was telling us pull our
You know what I'm
pants
saying?
up.
Don't move, vote, bullshit like that.
And Obama was way more socially conservative than a lot of people even remember, because Obama was against gay marriage when he got elected too, by the way. And he would always say stuff like, "Oh, I think Black Americans should pull their pants up and stay obedient." That was his answer to criminal justice when he was president. Now that the tide is changing, now you're seeing people like Barack Obama trying to whitewash his record. And it's like, bro, you're not gonna whitewash your record, bro. Remember, and Black Lives Matter started under you for a reason.
Right.
And what he was saying here, the fact that he couldn't speak out because of institutional.
Occupy Wall Street, stand and rock.
Yeah, he can stand up for them.
Not even just.
The main way you know this is bullshit that Obama's just making excuses here, because he's pretending that due to the institutional constraints that he couldn't speak out on this and raise massive awareness on this issue. The reason why this is BS, because that's exactly what Donald Trump did. Like, was there any institutional restraints that stopped Trump from standing up and speaking on behalf of MAGA and repeating his talking points? Nothing. There was nothing stopping Donald Trump from doing that. So Donald Trump's first term exposed a lot in what people in politics can actually do, because he was doing things that was unhinged. But now we know that Democrats could do way more. They just choose not to. Let's see what else this man saying.
Big facts. Big facts. And, you know, all this shit, Obama he trying to save face. He know that a lot of the younger generations ain't falling for this shit. You know, if we can look at, you know, if we can look at the studies that show where young people are at mentally, and, you know, you see all these socialists and communists and people not even giving a fuck about, you know what I'm saying, the government, he's going to have a bad outlook. History is going to look bad on him. It's going to look bad. It's going to be bad.
Yep, it's already
so
starting.
This is why he's trying to go out and do the Zoomers like he did the Boomers. Like, hey, it wasn't me, it was them. But bro, you just basically said you were a sellout. That's why you couldn't speak up, because you sold out to these institutions, because you were a part of these people, and they told you to shut the fuck up, and that's what you did. What else are you? You know, so I call a spade, man. And fuck his books, pretty. Nobody gives a fuck. Like, I mean, it's a handful of Zoomers that's reading these. I'm sure books, but nobody buying a fucking book Obama. Shut the fuck.
This man always got a book to sell. Once again, this is another thing that showed that Barack Obama never really cared. Also, I want you guys to realize Obama admitted that he was upset because people protested George Bush because of his war crimes.
Yeah.
He said that frustrated him. So we know who Obama is, right? We know his job was to kill the anti-war movement and to protect the criminal prison industrial complex. That's what his role. You guys don't believe me? Don't believe me. Check this out. So Rahm Emanuel. Let me share screen it. Let me share the screen.
Well, here, get this straight. I'm about to move my spot so I can get more light.
It's all good. Look at this. Laquan Mcdonald. This is a great tweet by Ian Thompson. I'll drop him a follow. Laquan Mcdonald was murdered by Chicago Police Department in 2014, a murder that Mayor Rahm Emanuel then tried to cover up. Here, like, he didn't make this mistake. It wasn't a mistake on Obama's part, because here's President Obama campaigning for Emanuel re-election months later in 2015. So you had like Rahm Emanuel. I mean, he's like everyone knows how terrible he is now, to the point where even the squad said something about was speaking out against Rahm Emanuel when Joe Biden was offering to give him a job. Don't give the squad too much credit for that because they still fit Rahm Emanuel in, and they ain't said anything. They ain't said anything about Neera Tanden. My point was that he's such an easy target. Even the cowardly squad was okay with saying something about him. Like even they was allowed to call him out. But here's Obama propping up Rahm Emanuel re-election bid, even though he was complicit with covering up the death of a child. So I'm sharing this stuff because I want people to understand that this is not an excuse. Obama want to frame it as an excuse. Oh man, I had no choice, man. I'm in the system. I'm trying to do my best work within the system, man. What I'm supposed to do? So meanwhile, he governed the system that is complicit with locking up and jailing Black Americans. That's why Black life expectancy fell under Barack Obama. That's why income inequality got worse under Barack Obama, because the regressive fines and fees that the criminal justice system imposed on Black Americans. He was complicit with that, straight up. He built the cages that Trump used. He was the deporter in chief, and it seems like Joe Biden's going to beat him. Because a lot of people don't know this, but you guys know that Barack Obama deported more people in his first term than Donald Trump did in his first term, right? So he's still the deporter in chief. And now Joe Biden deported more Haitian immigrants in his first 100 days than Donald Trump did in his whole first term. So Obama the deporter in chief right now, but trust me, Joe Biden coming for that crown. he's like, I'm gonna take that title, man. How dare you think you can be the leader of white supremacy? You think you're gonna lead white supremacy? Very interesting. Leslie said Obama is making excuses because he sees that the political climate is changing. Exactly. Well said, Leslie. Because what is Obama doing now? He's chasing Netflix deals, writing books. Hell, we might even see him in a movie or so in a few years.
Yep.
So the worst thing for Obama would be if his brand became out of style, if he got left behind by the changing culture, which he is. And Obama's smart enough to realize this. And that's why he coming out like, I did my best. And what he's doing is whitewashing. I just gave you guys two examples. And the fact that he helped militarize the police even more.
Yes.
Right? So he's complicit with anti-blackness. And that's not, like, I'm barely touching the surface here. Because I even got into the fact that he protected Wall Street for when they did illegal.
He bailed them out.
Yeah,
he bailed them out with the majority, right? He bailed them out with the majority. This when he first got in, he bailed them out. He had no plans. He was the first Black president to say no to reparations. And this is why I really don't understand. Like, it'd be a lot of Black people who'd be like, oh, we need reparations. I'm not voting for this person, that person if we're not getting reparations. But then they have Obama. They have Obama in their fucking bios, you know what I'm saying, or in their backgrounds and shit like that. Like, well, you obviously voted for this nigga, and he told you like no. The first time he was the first 4 years, he said no to reparations. Why did you vote for him the second time? You know, so all these motherfuckers be lost in the sauce.
Yeah. Well, I was just tweeting. I always like to live tweet these streams because the algorithm doesn't really help us. I'm glad that you guys are watching and enjoying so far. This is our Thursday podcast. Right now, it's only me and Rome. RJ gonna jump in very soon. So if you are enjoying this, please leave a like and please share, because the algorithm is not gonna help us. The only way that people see our videos is when I tweet it out, or the comrades. Now I'm seeing that we get viewers way quicker now when we start our stream. So that tells me that you guys are hitting the bell, and I appreciate that, because you guys are getting that notification. You come in the stream. So I just want to let you guys know I do appreciate that. And I love the comments, because like our comment section in our community here is outstanding. Steve leaves a great comment here. Obama is a working class parasite. Yep, because go ahead, Ron.
Yeah, so Misha said even when he was out of the office, he came out last year when the NBA was on strike during the playoffs.
Oh, tell them about that, Ron.
Yeah,
tell them about that.
Yeah.
Just so in this case they don't know, give them some background.
Like, all right, everybody getting killed. Well, I think this is George Floyd, right? This is George Floyd, and everybody was pissed off. Tension in the air. These woke celebrities had one fucking job. Don't listen to the fucking government. Don't listen to, you know what I'm saying, these fucking politicians. This is the whole meaning of a strike. It's the, you know what I'm saying, fight the power, rage against the machine. But as soon as Obama came out, and he was like, shut up and dribble. And they always like, whoop, I guess that's what we got to do. Dude, what the fuck happened? Like, if you gonna like if you really gonna strike, you woke celebrities. You know what I'm saying? I know it's a couple of them that catch the show because they want to see us talk shit. But half of you woke celebrities, y'all ain't shit, man. Y'all once y'all masters say shut up or jump, y'all do as y'all told. Y'all do as y'all told. So sometimes it's best for y'all to just shut the fuck up because you do more damage by doing it half-ass. And you got millions of people that supporting you that would have did whatever. Just this one athlete got millions of supporters. You know what I'm saying? LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, all these people, they could have really did some damage. And you did the one thing that we don't do when we are striking is listen to the fucking government. Listen to a white supremacist. You failed. So
there's a great comment. I don't want to say your name. That's a long name. I'm gonna go for it. Sukakino Jasmine. Yeah, I nailed it. I think he said Obama is both so helpless and so powerful depending on the situation, and that's a great point because do you guys remember the flex that Barack Obama had last year, which was a giant victory for the neoliberal movement because Obama used his power and he made some phone calls. He got Pete Buttigieg, who had more delegates than Joe Biden, to drop out and endorse Joe Biden. So Barack Obama has a ton of power. Don't get it twisted. Despite me and Rome don't like this fact, but it's a fact that Barack Obama has a lot of power and he carries a lot of weight. Now, let me ask you guys this question. Why did Barack Obama come out of the woodworks to make phone calls to kill the Bernie Sanders campaign, but he can't get on the phone to get you health care, to get you a living wage? So we'll cover this story here very soon after this segment, how Joe Biden dropped all his campaign promises. He said he'll cancel student loan debt, or at least some of it. Even that was like that's milquetoast. But he's not even going to do that. He said he's going to get $15 minimum wage. Not going to do that. I hate the public option. You guys know that, but it's better than the current system. He's not even going to do that. So why isn't Obama calling Biden up like, hey man, you say you're going to do this? We got to stand for the people. I'm giving you one right now, and I want you to change course right now. And if you don't, I'm gonna go out in the media. I'm gonna speak out. If he actually cared, in an alternate reality where Barack Obama was who he said he was, he'd be hitting all these Democrats up while he got power. Hey man, Black Americans are struggling right now. You see how many people going homeless? We got to do something about this. He doesn't do that, but he made a phone call to kill Bernie Sanders movement. Very funny how that works. Let's see if we got any more good
Not only that. I keep telling people he hold grudges. He held grudges against Bernie Sanders because when in 2009 Bernie Sanders was in front of the White House calling him out about him and Joe Biden trying to cut Medicare and Medicaid, and that's when they took Joe Biden around a tour of the White House, and basically it was like, look, we can shut you up if we want. Basically, I think that's what that conversation was really about.
Yeah. And
after that, they've always been after him. You know what I'm saying? They had all types of shit, all types of hurdles that we had to jump in the Bernie Sanders campaign with Obama against us. Even one of his co-chairs had came out on MSNBC and said if Bernie started taking the lead, then Obama might come out and kill the campaign. They said this on national TV, like they're flexing power. They might not flex it all the time, but notice it when it happens, man. Pay attention when it happens, because they will tell you. Just like one of the DNC chairs came out and said, we can pick who the fuck we want. Even if Bernie do win, we can pick who the fuck we want, and there's nothing you can do about it.
The New York Times had a story where Democratic Party officials admitted that they were willing to take permanent damage to the party and wanted to stop Bernie Sanders. Luckily for them, it worked out how they wanted it to. Bernie Sanders was a weak cuck who dropped out, and they didn't have effective movement. But if Bernie Sanders won, there's no doubt in my mind they would have stolen it. No doubt. If you guys really think that Bernie Sanders will let them in the gravy train, after seeing anything you see now, I think you're being naive. And I wouldn't have told you that last year. Like, honestly, when I was on the campaign with them, I was probably like, yeah, if we beat them, what can they do? But now, there's no doubt in my mind that they would do whatever it took, even if it was like riots everywhere. Because this story came out after. Well, I think it came out before, actually. But that when I started raising flag. Like, remember when right before Super Tuesday, when there was ideas of like, oh, we can use super delegates to stop Bernie Sanders. I still remember that, and I was raising the flag like, yo, they're gonna still look Bernie if he wins. Even if he wins, that's what they're gonna do. Yeah, and Pierre pretty much outlined. Also, I want he pretty much outlined how he killed the NBA strike. We kind of got into that. Paul, like Paul Smith, I love the comments that he leave. I'm gonna put back on this just a little bit because he said Obama is a white man in a black man's body. Simple as that, my friends. And don't take this the wrong way, Paul, because you leave great comments in the chat, and it's not like I just have a slightly different take than that because I wrote about our black sellout leaders, and this is not a new phenomenon. The phenomenon of bourgeoisie black leaders selling us out is a tale as old as the slave trade. So I don't like erasing the blackness of Kamala Harris and Barack Obama. The reason I don't, because it's important to point out that the black community will and always will, that we did and we always will have sellouts. We gotta be able to properly identify that. So I'm not mad at the comment. I just slightly put back because as a black leftist, I want to reframe
Bakari Sellers.
Yeah, Bakari Sellers too. Bakari Sellers. All these sellout black liberals. Jim Clyburn. I never erase their blackness. I don't say Jim Clyburn's a white man. The reason I don't say that is because he's just a black sellout. I shared the quote. I don't repeat it again. But W.B. Du Bois, he wrote about the problem of black sellout leaders about 50, 60 years ago. So this is just a problem that we gotta deal with in the black community. It's not that someone is not black when they are like conservative. It's just that this is just long-standing tradition, and we gotta wake those people up. Black revolutionary, you gotta wake them up.
Oh, you was right about Citibank sending him recommendations for his cabinet picks. But not only that, I already pointed out, I think this was my last show or something, that, the military-industrial complex was sending him more money than they did John McCain on his first, like, come on, man. Follow the money. Why is they giving this man that never touched, war, probably not even a gun, a day in his fucking life, against a man that they call a war hero, whatever the fuck that's supposed to mean. He's a war criminal, but why would they be donating more money to Obama?
So, the president of the United States, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, the president of the United States makes $400,000 a year, right? Barack Obama was not a wealthy man before he got into office. So, he made $400,000 a year for 8 years. That's a lot of money. But how does he afford a mansion in Martha's Vineyard on that salary? I think that mansion was like $100 million. Sorry, not 100. Like $11 million. I don't remember. Maybe I'm gonna Google it.
They all ugly as fuck anyway.
I'm gonna see if I can get that cars. Martha's Vineyard.
Just ugly as fuck, tacky as hell. Looking like you spent all this money. Then what's so crazy?
Yeah, I was like 11.7 million. 11.7 million for his mansion. So how did he afford that on that salary, guys? Like you guys realize they are corrupt right in your faces. We done covered this story, and I'm gonna talk to Christian Smalls actually here about like an hour and a half after the show. I'm gonna get on this. I'm gonna join. He's the guy who was starting the Amazon protest, and he raised awareness about the horrible COVID conditions, and Amazon retaliated. I'm gonna be on the show to roast Jeff Bezos because this is the open corruption that we see. Like you see how Obama and the public officials enrich themselves while in office, and now we see massive money laundering. We'll get into the details here soon, where the government bails out Amazon for the tune of like $10 billion. Mm-hmm. And then what did they buy? They bought some sort of studio, didn't they? Yeah, MGM for $9 million. So that's money laundering, guys. Like you realize that what it is. So they gave them taxpayer money so they can buy a business. Like their corruption, we'll cover this story in detail here soon, but I'm telling you guys, they are open about the corruption because they know the media will cover for them, and they know most people are asleep anyway. Joe Biden put everyone to sleep. My friend Beth in the house. Thank you for watching, Beth.
Yep.
Good friend. Good friend. He said, War said that was
Hey, Jackie.
quote unquote speaking fees. Do anyone believe this? Like anyone who actually believe that Obama giving a speech for 30 minutes is worth $500,000? You are beyond delusional. They do this corruption right in the open, and then they tell you, and then they give the American people the dumbest like excuses. Like Hillary will go to Wall Street, make about $2,000 like a minute speaking, and then people will be like, "Oh yeah, that sounds about reasonable. That sounds about right." So Obama will go to Wall Street, get paid $500,000 for one speech. So you guys think that have nothing to do with the fact that Obama bailed out Wall Street? You guys think that had nothing to do with that? You guys think it had nothing to do with the fact that Wall Street made record profits under Obama, despite we had an economic crash? That they just invited Obama to speak at Wall Street out of the kindness of their heart. This is quid pro quo. And then the liberals, they just repeat it.
Thank you for the donation.
The liberals like, oh no, just speaking fees. I mean, I actually heard this defense from liberals before. They're like, oh, what? You expect them not to work no more when they get out of government? They're allowed to make money. Like, bro, this show how delusional.
You know what's so crazy? Like, I don't know. That speaking fee shit. That's some straight bullshit. Because I know I got a couple of speeches in a couple of cities I got planned out. I ain't fucking charging nobody. They I want you to speak for me. I want you to speak for here and there. I'm not asking for no money. And you know what I'm saying? Maybe that's just me. You know what I'm saying? But education should be free. And if I got the education, I got enough education to spread to my people, to feed my people, then that's what's gonna happen. I'm not about to sit here and charge you $100,000 to hear me say some shit that I could say. I can just say on the internet, or I probably already said in a couple of videos. I just remixed my words, and you came and spent $2,000 to see me remix a couple of my videos, or say some shit that another nigga wrote, because Obama don't write his speeches. You know, Obama don't write his speeches.
Hell no. So Jackie, my good friend Jackie, I was on her podcast. Check that out, the Happy Hour podcast. I was with them a few days ago, so make sure you guys check that out. She was like, when I can't even watch corporate news because I'll just be raging the entire time because I scream at the fucking TV. Where's that quote? You guys see, like, sometimes I live tweet. The only time I ever watch CNN on MSNBC, I do it out of curiosity. It's always like right before a debate or a town hall I'm covering. So every once in a while, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna see what they're talking about, see what it's like, and it's literally mind-numbingly dumb. It's unbelievable how much rank propaganda comes out of our cable boxes, and how people can still listen to this stuff. Like people, like I remember, I'll live tweeting this when it happened because it was like a few weeks ago where Joe Biden gave a town hall, and I was watching the town hall and I was live tweeting at the time, explaining why everything that Joe Biden was saying was wrong and horrible. But then if you watch the post show, I watched the post show. I think it was on MSNBC. No, I forgot I was seeing it on MSNBC. Please forgive me, but it was one of those. And I was watching. I think it was MSNBC. I was watching the post breakdown, and it was literally the most scary state TV shit I've ever seen in my life. I tweeted about it at the time. Like, it was one commentary like, yeah, I think Biden showed a lot of strength today. The next commentary, yeah, you know, Biden, this is why we like Joe Biden, because he's honest, unlike Donald Trump. Even though I was live tweeting all his lies, they're like, Joe Biden, this is why everyone loved Joe Biden. He's such a respectable leader. Joe Biden was really sharp today, wasn't he? Yeah, I think Joe Biden did amazing.
You got Van Jones crying and shit.
Huh?
You got Van Jones crying and
yeah.
Man, pull your balls up. What the fuck?
Man,
that shit is crazy. Yeah, that's some state. You know what I'm saying? People are like, oh, North Korea, they in a dictatorship. Nigga, we in a dictatorship.
Yeah.
Nigga, the same families been running this bitch forever, and the same families will be running this bitch when their grandfathers die. Because that money, you know what I'm saying, that wealth, it get transferred. It get grandfathered in. So now you under the fucking foot of a, you know what I'm saying, of these oppressors' grandkids.
So if you guys don't believe me, look, check this out to show how bad the media is. Because I saw that town hall, it was like everyone repeating all the talking points that you would see out of like blue check Twitter. Like if you check blue check Twitter out, look at all the liberals and what they tweet about. They was literally repeating all the DNC talking points, and it was just on the corporate news, and people think that's real news. And when I saw that segment, I was like, bro, No wonder why we couldn't beat Joe Biden. No wonder why only like 3% of the boomers voted for Bernie Sanders, because they getting this nonsense every day. And people got the nerve to, like in Rome, like North Korea and other countries, you got the nerve to tell me that other countries are more propagandized than America? I've been tweeting this out a lot, and I've been tweeting it out a lot for a reason. I keep saying the U.S. is the most propagandized country in the world because I keep coming with receipts. Because the idea that people will push back against that is ridiculous to me. You guys see this I have on the screen, right? This is the like manufacturing consent that's going on for Joe Biden right now. And actually, I think this is a good transition to this very next story I want to run, because they're getting even worse. Because it's not only just this, it's another angle, and I'm explaining this here very soon. But look, check this out. What's the secret of Biden's success? New York Times. Can Biden be our FDR? The next FDR, they said. Joe Biden is electrifying America like FDR. Joe Biden is a transformational president. You guys see this? How is this any different than any, like, the worst version of state media? Like, think of the worst state media you can think of. How is this any better than that? I'm asking, like, legitimately. How is this any better than that? And you guys, it's even worse than that. Let me find this out. I'm gonna introduce this new story. I wanted to cover this as well, because I've been saying for a very long time that the media is the biggest threat. Hey, RJ in the house. Hey, RJ. I'm gonna get your take. I'll ask you about this very soon here. But this is the story we all covered. I also want to get your thoughts on Obama, because we already did our Obama roasting segment. But I really want to get your thoughts on that. But let's cover this story first. Here, let me share the screen so you guys can see it. Because I'll show you guys how they manufacture like progressive support for Joe Biden. But they like, and this is the point I always make, and this is the point I made with Misty on her show yesterday. The ruling class is not dumb. They know how to manufacture consent. They know how to do propaganda. And you see here, this is another form of propaganda they're doing here. Do you guys see this on the screen? It says Biden's leadership is threatened by his loyalty to the hard left. And people was tweeting, and they did an expose on Matt, and Matt pretty much is right winger. I want you guys to understand. I'll make this quick point. I want to get RJ's thoughts on that. My point is, you guys understand that right-wing media is part of the propaganda game, right? There is no opposition to neoliberalism. No opposition. So when the right wing run attack ads on Joe Biden, they pretend that he's far left. They pretend that he's actually, this dangerous socialist who want to implement all these popular policies. When they do that, that helps him. That gives Joe Biden cover. And could that see the people who like watch that, like, yeah, Joe Biden, he's been progressive, he's taking care of the working class people, and then people will see the right wing media attacks on them. Like, oh yeah, he must be doing good. So you guys understand, it's one giant strategy, right? So that's why I don't say the right wing media is opposition. The right wing media wasn't opposition to Obama, and they're not opposition to Joe Biden, because they were paying Obama as a socialist. They were paying Biden as a socialist. So that's not opposition. I want to get your thought on that, RJ. Have you been seeing the propaganda that the media have been like nonstop on him? And what's your thoughts on this headline where this dude dared to say that Biden was like loyal to the left? What's your thoughts on that, RJ?
I think it's pretty laughable. For instance, to think that Joe Biden has any loyalty to the left. I mean, he's been to the right of Reagan many times throughout his entire Senate career. And Joe Biden himself has been seen to break almost every campaign promise that he promised during his campaign, to even social Dems and even to liberals as well. So it's not really shocking for a lot of us, hardcore leftists, air quotes, who knew prior to election in November that Joe Biden wasn't going to do a damn thing for us. But it's kind of funny now seeing all those harm reduction people, and those people who say, oh, well, we could push Biden left. They're shocked now. And it's like, well, too fucking late, because all your power is gone. So way to be cucked, guys. And, I think you mentioned, too, about Barack Obama. He came out and and said the system is the problem why I couldn't defend my own people. So fuck you, Obama. Let's just get that out of the way first. He's a douchebag, asshole, cuck. I mean, he's and many times one of the worst human beings in human history. He should be thrown in the ash heap of history. It's like, that's what we should do to Obama. And when Obama said that, my initial thoughts were like, oh, here this motherfucker goes again. He always loves to punch at black folks. It's always our fault, and it's always someone else's fault, and never his own. Like, I thought people always say Donald Trump was a narcissist. This motherfucker was a narcissist as well, has always been. It's always the Republicans, even though I had a super majority in the House, super majority in the Senate. Always black people's fault, even though black people, they grandmamas and uncles from the cookouts came out of the woodworks to vote for your fucking ass, and you crushed us again, and you always worked against us. So, and look, my whole family is right wing. They all for Obama still, so it's hard as hell in this house. I got to deal with Katie Halper's criticizing Obama or Biden. How do you listen to that stuff? So I have to deal with this bullshit all the time, but it makes it hard. Because he has the black community by the balls. That's what Obama has. So he can say whatever the fuck he wants to. And so that's my thoughts on Obama and specifically Biden. Like, they're both trash. They both suck. And of course, the media is really going to help them as well. I mean, this is by design. And I hate saying on my timeline that now liberals decide to attack Joe Manchin. Now they're fucking doing it. So I'm going on a rant. Somebody else go.
Nah, bro, you good? Cause you joined late, man. I was like, this is about to be the RJ show. I love RJ. I love the energy that's becoming an RJ lately, man. Cause I like just straight up telling it how it is. No apologies. It's really good to see. What's your thoughts, Ron? You muted. You're muted. By the way.
I know my nephew won't shut the fuck up.
It's all good. It's all good. I'm gonna look at some comments here.
Right. Yeah, man. It's good.
Yeah, you better.
Or what?
Or I'll beat you up.
Get their ass wrong.
You on there with them.
Man, I'm about to go to jail on live, man. I'm about to go to jail on live. But no, man, fuck live liberals. Why the fuck they acting like they acting like they, I don't know why they acting like they fighting, man. It's just like, y'all, they call themselves the resistors, but shit, the only thing they have been resisting is progress. It's progress from what fucking, it's been what, 12 years now. That's the only thing they've been blocking is progressive candidates from the Green Party to even local to electoral politics. It's been the liberals that been in our way that's been fence riding. So they can act like they are fighting Joe all the fuck they want. It's too late. Nobody believes you. You need more people. You should have been out here when we told you what was going to happen, when we told you that. Look, and then it's not even Joe. It's the whole fucking Democratic Party itself. They are a whole, and they are the majority. You know what I'm saying? They are the majority. So if they really wanted to put pressure on him, they just say, hey, instead of signing this bill that you wanted, I'm not going to sign on to it. And they can just bar each other out. But nobody really want to fight. Nobody truly want to fight because nobody really gives a fuck about you. They're going to put on this. They're going to put on your favorite fucking movie, this political theater. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to sit and watch that shit. You're going to love it. You're going to watch it every fucking time, just like Shrek 1, 2, and 3, even though it's old as fuck. It's outdated.
Shrek is still funny,
and you're going to watch it every fucking time.
Dude, Shrek is good as hell. I don't care no one, so I'll still watch that shit. But yeah, I saw someone listed a good comment. I lost track of it. Damn it. It's a great comment about Manchin. This from Peter, a good friend of the show, always leaves great comments. And he said Joe Manchin is doing exactly what Biden, DNC, and media wants them to do. Remember who was saying that as well? Great comment, Peter. But you remember else who was saying this? Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema is doing exactly what they are designed to do. This is why you don't see any heat come from the Democratic officials against them. I covered a story where Nancy Pelosi, despite AOC and the squad being amazing agents for the Democratic Party, despite them constantly apologizing for the Democratic Party, despite them single-handedly bringing a giant youth movement into the Democratic Party who wouldn't otherwise exist. I mean, Reuters did a story years ago how the Democratic Party was losing millennials in droves. A ton of young people was like, I'm done with the Democratic Party. Then the squad came, AOC came, and then she made the Democratic Party hip and cool again. So she's the best thing the Democratic Party can ask for. And she does nothing to tank any of Biden's agenda. Meanwhile, Nancy Pelosi came out with a statement attacking her weeks ago. Dissing AOC weeks ago. My question is to you is why is Nancy Pelosi focusing on bashing AOC, but she says nothing to Kristen Sinema and Joe Manchin, who is actively blocking Biden's agenda. If you think they're not playing a role, right? So I don't buy the kayfabe. It was Joe Lieberman before. It's Joe Manchin now. If Joe Manchin wasn't there, it would be someone else, guys. You guys realize that the Democrat Party is an organization, and they know what senators is in what area where they can vote in a conservative way to block progress. So Joe Manchin is that guy because he's in the deep red state. Chris Sinema is in the purple state. So they're like, oh, that's an excuse for her to be conservative. So if it wasn't for them, they will find someone else in the purple state or in the deep red state, like, oh, they got no choice. But they smart, though. I told you the ruling class is smart. They do it with just enough to barely not get stuff passed. So because they don't want to hurt their brand too much. So there's allowed to be one Sinema. You're allowed to have one Manchin. But it can't be multiple. You can't have too many of them, because if you have too many of them, people will just say screw the party altogether. So you need a significant number who seem like they're on board for change, and then only just a few to block it. They've done this for decades, guys. How do people see this pattern and not come to that conclusion? It doesn't make sense to me. RJ, everyone want to chime in? I'm gonna see if we got some comments in the meantime, and then I'll go to our next story.
What was the original question?
Oh, nothing. I was just writing about Manchin and Sinema. At this point, I was just taking some comments. We can go to another story. Actually, this is a good transition. RJ, do you have anything in particular that you want to cover? I toss it to you. I think you had a segment, right?
Yeah, I had a couple actually. What we could talk about.
Yeah, you want to do it?
Yeah, we can do it right now. Actually.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I think that one of the biggest ones we can actually talk about is kind of what I addressed in our group earlier today. Hold on one second. I'll get that out. Sorry about the airdrop. Okay, so I guess we could talk about Jank's tweet. I'll put it in the chat so that Jackie can actually put it through for everybody. And so we all know Cenk Uygur. He's the founder, co-host of TYT. And he put out this tweet. I'll put it in the chat for everybody. Check it, put it up there, Jackie. And Cenk Uygur put out a tweet. And the funniest part is that this is in response to what's happening in Israel with the Israelis and the Palestinians. And this is Cenk Uygur's great political analysis of what's going on throughout this entire situation. So Cenk Uygur goes on to say, Israelis and Palestinians kill each other over which sky god they pretend to speak to, and it's politically incorrect to point out there is no human god, let alone one that favors Jews or Muslims. All this violence over the equivalent of which character they like better in the MCU. And what's obviously crazy about this Cenk Uygur tweet is like, no one is talking about a religious war right now. What we're actually talking about is the use of state power to oppress a minority group continuously the last 70 years. No one's talking about the race war, which is very shocking. And that tweet, he got ratio. He got like 4,000 quote tweets, more than even likes. So I think that was what was crazy about that. I do want your guys' thoughts on that as well. So Nick, you have any thoughts about Jank's original tweet? And then I see in the chat that people want us to talk about Anna Kasparian, and that's actually next after this.
Yeah,
so we got like a huge TYT bashing fest right now.
Yeah, I'll say, you know, as an atheist, that nigga don't even know what the fuck he's talking about. Like, you know, like that's not our job. We don't cross that line. You know, like you let people. You know, and like you said, oh shit, what the fuck? And like you said, you know, nobody's talking about, you know what I'm saying? No God's favoring anybody. We're trying to get people to stop killing. Like, no matter who believes in what, the problem is death. And no matter who believes in what, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna get it right. We're gonna try our best to get it right. We're gonna try our best to protest and fight against this. So I don't know, that nigga a clown, man. He always been a racist, Republican, fucking clown. Just, you know, and as somebody that's atheist and anti-religion, you know, anti-Christ, that shit, that's some bullshit right there.
Yeah, and what upsets me the most of this is just ridiculous divide and conquer nonsense. And I'll just tweet, like, no self-respecting leftists at this point should be watching TYT anymore. I used to watch TYT in my transition. I stopped that years and years ago. Yeah. So I will acknowledge that there was a certain point. I say around 2008 to 2012 around. I'd give him 14. I'd give him 2014, where there was a decent place for people who are otherwise more liberal minded to be dragged a little bit to the left, not too much, but just enough to the left where they can start being more progressive. That's the only value they had. Their value has ended years ago. And I say this because you look at this tweet. I've been a political commentator for just under a year now. Just under a year. Fred Hampton Leftist launched only about 2 months ago. I couldn't imagine, despite me being a relatively new political commentator, I couldn't imagine tweeting something this wrong on a topic and getting away with it. This guy has been a political commentator for decades, and he don't know what the Israel-Palestine conflict is about. I don't believe that. I do not believe that Cenk Uygur do not know what this story is about.
Yeah,
because I don't.
But they always. But look at their background. You know, check their history. They always been in support of genocides, and they always like what Anna was. You know, she's friends with these people. You know, like, come on, man, put one and one together, man. That shit makes two. Yeah. And stop trying to fucking twist and bend the math, bitch. It is what it is. You know.
My point was, like, there's no way that Cenk knows that he doesn't know the conflict of Israel-Palestine. I don't believe that. He been commentating for like what 30 years now. He started in the 90s. Yeah. I only been doing this for less than a year, and I would never tweet anything that's stupid. So I think this is just blatant divide and conquer nonsense to get likes and clicks. Yeah. It's nonsense because this is like something you would get Reddit gold in like 2010. I had my edgy atheist phase as well, guys. I remember I was a teenager. Yeah. I was really edgy with my atheism. As I got older and as I became an adult and I started to struggle and I started to realize that other people struggle, I changed my approach because I realized, like, I think religion is silly, but life is so hard. I'm not going to attack people if they find any little comfort in things. And that's how I changed my approach. I used to be that edgy atheist, like, oh no, anyone used to believe in God. This is stupid. Yeah. Now, like, there may be a part of me that believe that, but I'm not ever going to attack anyone for a religion because life is hard as it is. Life is already hard. And so if you have to have religion as a way to comfort yourself, I understand that. I will come after you the second you use your religion to strip people of their freedom, and I'll take it as an individual basis. But to frame the issue of Israel-Palestine as a religious issue, as a religious war, when it's a settler colonial issue, is unforgivable. Unforgivable. Because we just had Richard Medhurst on our show. He properly explained how when growing up you had Jews, you had Arabs, you had Muslims, and they all be pro-Palestine. Arab, like, it had nothing to do with religion. It's like, are you a fascist or are you not a fascist? That's what it's about. It's about standing for humanity. It's about standing for human rights. Nothing about a religious war. But meanwhile, that is how Cenk is selling it to his audience for clicks.
Like I was saying about TYT as a whole, their whole smick is to keep people in some type of bubble, some type of liberal bubble, so you won't go as far as me and be a communist. They want you to be
exactly
socialist Democrat. You know, they don't want you to really fight Democrats when they have control. Like right now, who have control of the government? Democrats. Democrats control the whole fucking shebang. And why they ain't going after the Democrats like how they was going after the Republicans? You know, as these so-called socialists or whatever the fuck they call it. I don't even know where they at. Ideology. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know where the fuck they at. You know what I'm saying? They say they it is, but they sound like Republicans. They always take up for oppression. They always, you know what I'm saying, do this fucking same shit and then turn around and say, hey, look, we are, you know what I'm saying, we are the network for the left. Like, no the fuck you ain't. No the fuck you ain't. You the network to keep niggas from going too far left. You the network to keep niggas, you know what I'm saying, in that cycle, man. Because if y'all was really about it, y'all be on everybody else. They barely report on the shit that you know what I'm saying, on the bombings of Joe Biden. They barely have opinion pieces on the shit like how they have on other reporters and other people like Jimmy Dore. Man, come on, man. They don't talk about shit now, bro. They just don't want you to watch us So you won't get too far left and be like, hey, why would I watch TYT? They ain't talking about shit. They've been talking about the same shit for years, and these niggas actually talking and walking. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? What the fuck they what they believe?
Yeah, that's such a good point, Rome. That's such a good point. I'll make this last point, and I'll pass it back to you, RJ. There was a good comment that said, "This is why he killed the TYT union." Jinx is a capitalist. You can't be anti-union and be anti-capitalist. Period. Sorry, I'm down on that hill. Anyway, the last point I want to make, and I'll pass it back to you, RJ, is I want you guys to understand that what Jink is doing is propping up Zionist propaganda. What do I mean by that? So Zionists make this all about the race war and the religious war. In the same reason why Republicans and Democrats always do the cultural war issue, because that's how you get people to vote for you. There is no intellectual, moral, or legal basis that justify Israel's occupation of Palestine. So the only way they can get people on their side is by turning it to a religious race issue. So that means, people who feel like they had to be loyal to the Jewish community, or people who are Jewish, they feel like they will have to support the apartheid state of Israel because they're Jews. This is their strategy, and Zionists are open about this. Cenk is confirming that by saying this. It's a religious war, Muslims versus Jews. No, it's not. You are falling for the Zionist propaganda. No, I don't think he's falling for it. I'll explain why I think he's smarter than that. He's not falling for it. He's complicit in drumming up this religious war, because that'd be great for his clicks. And it's so harmful to, like, all leftists just straight up reject, and it would matter if you're telling on our show as well. He said this on our show. Reject anything that makes this about anything except colonialism and freedom for the Palestinian people. That's all it's about. Anyway, I'll pass it back to RJ. That's my final thought. I just want you guys to know what he was saying there is so dangerous, and it genocide eraser. It genocide eraser, because the Israel government is actively committing a genocide against Palestinian people, and he's like, no, it's just a religious war. Like, bro, it's crazy. Why would we even watch this nonsense? Sorry, RJ, go ahead.
Okay, before we transition to the last segment on TYT, Jackie, any comments, or are you good? Nope, I guess she's good. Okay, so at next point for TYT is that Anna Kasparian decides to do on TYT, there's like a paid broadcast they have for like subscribers only. And so one subscriber actually kind of leaked this out. And so what Jackie is going to show on the screen is that Anna Kasparian really decides to go after the Gray Zone's Aaron Matei on a really dirty, low-down actual way, and full of lies and smears. And so we're going to actually play this clip for you guys and then read some of what he said on his thread, and then we'll have everyone else's comments. Okay. Oops. I'm not sure if that video is up or not.
Yeah, I see it. I just can't hear anything yet.
Yeah, so it was the members. Oh, there it goes. Sorry about that, guys. We have a little bit of a delay going.
Everyone cares what Aaron Mate has to say. Right? He denies that Syrian children were killed with chemical attacks. Yeah,
and
fuck
gets
Aaron
paid by
Mate.
the.
Yeah, fuck you. Anyway, let's move on. Let's end the freaking pod. I can't.
Okay, see, that's what happened.
I can't stand that guy, and I can't stand the very intentional disinformation they put out there in regard to disgusting dictators around the world. The very people they seem to be working for, to be quite honest with you. Let's move on.
All right, we're done.
Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
They said.
And so the crazy part about all of this is that Aaron Matei tweets out, in this insane and libelous clip, Cenk Uygur and Anna Kasparian say that I am paid by the Russians, Cenk, seem to be working for dictators, Anna, and deny chemical attacks on Syrian children, Anna. I don't care about the disdain for me, but I do care about being smeared. He goes on to say with the video, the only state I've worked for is Qatar as an Al Jazeera producer. I've never worked for or been paid by Russia or any Russians or any other state. By the way, when it comes to paid shilling for disgusting people who kill children, Anna Kasparian doesn't need to look far. So what Aaron Matei is referring to is Anna Kasparian, she took an interview with Madeleine Albright, who is Bill Clinton's former Secretary of State, who at the time was the first female Secretary of State in American history. And so he goes on to reply that chemical attacks have covered one of the biggest pro-war deceptions since the Iraq War, the stage incident in Doma, and the OPCW cover-up scandal that exposed it, doing Trump's bidding. Journalists, air quotes, like Cenk Uygur and Anna Kasparian have completely ignored it. And he also goes on to say, when Cenk Uygur opens by saying, Aaron Mate yelled at me, I think he's referring to this tweet from below. And you can judge for yourself if this constitutes yelling on my part, worth a freak out from Cenk. Anna Kasparian did ensue. So those who can't see what he's actually talking about is that Aaron Mate commented under Cenk's viral tweet, which we showed earlier, and he says, my God, tell me this isn't the worst tweet of all time. So for some reason, Cenk and Anna thought that Aaron was yelling at Cenk Uygur, which is crazy. And then he finished off by saying, Cenk Uygur.
There's some people that was way more. Sorry, RJ, but there were people way more hard on Cenk than that. But sorry, go ahead. There were people way more hard than that.
And so he finally says in his last tweet, Cenk Uygur and Anna Kasparian are free to have their strong feelings about me and act them out on TV, but they're not entitled to lie about me with claims that I am paid by Russia and dictators that I deny chemical attacks on children. That's McCarthyite trash and libelous. And also, too, many of Aaron Mate's friends and allies, Katie Halper, Rania Kalik, Jimmy Dore, they've all come to his defense, because it's not just because they actually like Aaron Mate, which I'm pretty sure they do. The argument is that if you're going to make those type of claims against an individual for their work, you got to have receipts. And she didn't show receipts at all. And you can look for yourself. There's many other sub comments she made, like LOL and got ratio, and many others, and continuing to do slanders towards Aaron Mate. And it's like, Aaron Mate is an award-winning journalist. Like, he won an award for debunking Russiagate. Like, he's covered what happened with the OPCW cover-up, and proved to be false when the entire international narrative was that it was true. So to go after a guy like this falsely and incorrectly, to smear him, is absolutely disrespectful. And so I want to get you guys' comments on this scenario. Let's get Rome first, and then we can get Nick.
That bitch just mad. That bitch just mad because he called their ass out. He told the truth like a journalist supposed to. And she is friends with these dictators. And any 2 minutes of research will show you this. We have videos of her with these dictators, like she liked to say. And somebody just pointed out, she liked to act like everybody from the global south is just dictators. That's what these white people, this is what these white liberals do. This is what these white liberals do. And she's no different. She's just a white liberal with a show. That bitch just mad. She get over it. Oh fucking well. Nigga called you out. If it ain't true, if you know what I'm saying, sue. If it ain't true, prove us, instead of saying, oh, this is disgusting. Okay, well, where's the proof that you actually, you know what I'm saying, spoke up against these things, spoke up against these wars, and all these so-called dictators that you like to speak up against? Where's this proof? And if Aaron just smearing you, because that's what you just did, if he's smearing you, so you have a lot to lose. You know what I'm saying? Y'all have a network and all type of shit. That's millions of dollars right there. So if you can't, you know what I'm saying, prove him wrong, well, shut the fuck up and just take it on the chin. Because he could have said worse. Like Nick said, people was going in. Like, every time shit like this happens, I don't be on Twitter as like I used to. But when I check on it, I'll be like, shit, I don't even need to say nothing, because I see this was said from a suspended account. This was said from a suspended account. This from a suspended account. Like, yeah, they went hard. Ain't no reason for me to even jump in. You know, but if you can prove Aaron wrong, sue him.
Well said, Rome. Nick, what's your thoughts?
There was a part of me that was very saddened because I couldn't follow the drama too closely, because Anna Kasparian Ben blocked me. And you know the funny thing is, Anna Kasparian blocked me. I swear, you can check my tweet history. I never tweeted at Anna Kasparian. I'm trying to think like if there's anything I'm missing. But Anna Kasparian was someone I like never followed on Twitter, never responded to her threads. Like, it wasn't like I was like, I always laugh at people who get like, oh, you blocked me. Like, bro, I blocked you because you like on my page all fucking day talking shit. I don't got time for that. Bro, but I never like engaged with Anna. And I'm thinking the only reason she blocked me because I posted a picture of her with Madeline Albright under like one of Jimmy Dore's threads. So she is deeply insecure about how TYT sold out, right? And I explained in our previous segment how they are doing a horrible job at relaying information and why no leftist should watch them. So you heard her attack Aaron Mate and say that he's working for these dictators. Even that's a lazy smear. That's not true. But that's exactly the same argument that liberals used against Aaron Mate in the gray zone. Like, I swear to God, look at any liberal attacks on the gray zone and Aaron Mate. They say the exact same thing in TYT do. So as a leftist, why will you get your news there when they're repeating liberal talking points against people who are anti-war? And by the way, this is not information you're going to get on TYT.
Man, that's the only thing we got that's leftist. It's the only way we can get our information is leftist. Nigga, that's bullshit. You just lazy. You lazy and you don't want to, like, out of all this shit, and out of all this information in the world, you ain't got no motherfucking, you can't just click on your fucking Google. Like, come on, man.
I just Googled it. I look when you say that. I literally just Googled this while you was talking earlier. She's saying that they are lying about the gas attacks. The Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, OPCW, backed up Aaron Mate's report. So, in a nutshell, you guys are getting massive misinformation when you watch TYT. I don't think any of our audience do. Most of you guys know better. But and I think someone left the comment. I don't remember who left it because it was a while ago. But they said if you look at like the most watched videos on TYT, it's all like Trump stuff. It's all Trump stuff because they cultivated an audience to be just shit lived with Trump derangement syndrome. There's no more leftists on TYT. Someone actually pointed out that back in the day, that TYT they used to get around 20 to 25,000 viewers on their streams, like back in 2014, 2013. Now they average around 3,000 to 4,000 because most leftists see through their nonsense now. And like if you like, it makes sense to me, right? Like why as a leftist will you still watch TYT? They made their own bed. This is why they're panicking. This is why they are attacking Aaron Mate now. This is why they are doing unhinged attacks on anyone who challenges the official narrative because they know this is their crowd now. TYT has tanked from where they used to be back in the day, and that's the origin story of almost every leftist I know. But when I ask leftists about how they become leftists, they're like, yeah, I watched TYT back in the day and then I quit watching them. You know how many leftists I heard that from? Like, so many leftists. And I'm one of them who used to watch TYT back in the day and dropped them. That's almost like a left-wing origin story in America. And this is exactly why. It's not only just the unhinged comments that desperate for clicks. It's literally just as a news source, they are not good. We just point out 2 times where they are blatantly misleading their audience. First one on Israel-Palestine, but not actually defining the problem. Now they're lying about the Syrian gas attacks that, as I mentioned, the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons back up Aaron Mate. Do anyone I don't know how many people this applies to, but if you're one of the people that only watch TYT, but you don't watch any other news, any other independent news, you have no idea that the Syrian gas attacks was bullshit. That's the problem with TYT. Go ahead, RJ. I'm done.
Yeah, I mean TYT is really a trash organization as well. They've broken up their own union. You know, that's why when you said earlier that he's not really a real lefty, you're right. He's a progressive. He supports capitalism, so he's trying to protect his own interests by getting rid of that union with TYT. And, you know, it's kind of crazy. Like, I've seen some of the comments that Anna Kasparian was having under that thread. Like, she would not give it a rest. Like, even regular people.
I'm mad I didn't see it. Damn it. Sorry, RJ, keep going. But
I don't know if
I missed most of the drama. I mean, I didn't see none of the time she got ratio because she blocked me. But sorry, RJ, go ahead.
Yeah, so just ask for screenshots. I'm pretty sure your comrades will help you out with that. But the crazy part was, like, she was making all these deranged comments, defending herself, saying that Aaron Mate worked for Russia, was, like, basically an Assad toady. So all the, like, insane, deranged comments that the DNC would make about Tulsi Gabbard at the time, whether you agree with what she is now, the same arguments they used against her back then is what they used against Aaron Mate now. And we're like, what the fuck's like Jimmy Dore defended her, Rania Khalek, Katie Halper was like, you can't make claims like this without evidence. Like, what the fuck? So that's what was crazy about that as well. And I do want to transition to another topic that I really want to talk about is really Bernie Sanders for this instance, because Uncle Joe, he keeps getting cucked by his good friend Uncle Joe. And right when the height of things were going on in Israel and Palestine, Joe Biden wanted to send a weapons deal to Israel while they're obliterating the Palestinian people. So during that time, Bernie Sanders was like, look, I'm going to put a stop to it. I'm going to hold this thing. And I'm going to send this. I forgot to send this to you guys. I'll send this actually right now. But it says Bernie Sanders drops the effort to block the weapons deal. Right. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, really, Bernie? And I think the establishment knows that Bernie is literally the only power lefties have really in government, because the House progressives, they can get cucked and they're cucking themselves. But Bernie, by being a United States senator and has the power to withhold any bill he wants to, they're really going at him. And so we'll put this article up on the screen, and then we'll get everyone's comments on it so far. But it was crazy when I was looking at this article. It says Bernie Sanders drops effort to stop weapons sales to Israel. Bernie Sanders will no longer try to force a Senate vote aimed at stopping a $735 million weapons sale to Israel, according to an aide. Right? The aide said the senator found out Friday that the State Department had already finalized the deal, and it wasn't clear if he could have forced a vote to block it. So that is pretty interesting. And Bernie Sanders himself questioned whether U.S. military aid to Israel was helping to keep the peace in the region or fueling the conflict. And last week, he introduced a resolution for the Senate vote to block the sale. And it says Republicans and many Democrats have largely supported the government of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, saying Israel has a right to defend itself. Israeli Palestinian militant groups in Gaza fought an 11-day war that claimed the lives of more than 250 people, mostly in Gaza. And so Bernie Sanders' efforts to stop the arms sale had little chance of passing Congress. A vote would have divided the Democratic Party. Progressive Democrats, including Sanders, and House lawmakers like AOC had criticized Israel's strikes in Gaza due to many civilian casualties and advocating for blocking the arms sale. Republicans said the Democrats were turning their back on Israel. So overall, we got this scenario where progressives are for it, but are afraid to speak out against it because of being smeared by mainstream media. You got mainline Democrats want to keep AIPAC on their side. You got Republicans being true and being true Zionists, so they're going to be defending Israel. So you have all these different types of factors that go together. And it says, lastly, the aide added that Mr. Sanders told Mr. Sherman he supported these efforts, but would continue to push for greater debate to make sure that U.S. arms sales do not support human rights abuses. And the State Department didn't respond for a comment. So really what this shows to me in general is that it's going to be very difficult for even a guy like Bernie Sanders to try to do all these different types of maneuvers. And I would really wish that he would be a lot more preemptive in which he goes after really what the United States Congress is trying to do. So any thoughts on that entire article and Bernie Sanders really dropping his plea to stop that arms sale? So what do you think, Nick, about that?
So I actually understand the merits of the inside-outside game. I think the inside-outside game has legitimate merits. We have a strong outside movement putting pressure, and you have inside politicians that respond to that pressure and put pressure the most they can on the inside. I actually acknowledge the validity of the strategy. The problem is the left inside game is garbage. They are just legitimately bad at playing politics. So the one time they try to force a vote, they don't have leverage to do so. The whole point of force a vote when it happened was we had leverage because we can use Nancy Pelosi's speakership to force floor votes on stuff. So I commend Bernie Sanders for going for this, but once again, it just showed political naivete. The belief that he can block this, you can't do it right now. You guys got no leverage. Have no leverage because you guys just continue to go. Now, there is some leverage you could use. I mean, you can just say we just shut down your whole agenda. You get nothing done. Bernie can organize the progressive politicians together. I'm like, all right, even though he's in the Senate and then you got the squad that's in Congress, they can still be like, we'll make sure that we block all their agenda to make sure they listen to us on the issue of Israel-Palestine. They don't do that because the squad is massively, well, Scratch that. They're not disorganized. They're doing everything they're doing for a purpose, and that's to keep the Democratic Party agenda rolling while at the same time developing great PR for themselves. So now Bernie Sanders got a lot of great headlines for this, but nothing got accomplished for this. The same for the Capitol Police vote. Well, Cori Bush's thing is defund the police. So they organized that vote in a way where it still passed, but Cori Bush is still standing for the issue, and she go on a PR tour while everyone else in the squad take a hit. That's the strategy. They're not actually challenging the party. We've seen that. So the problem is our inside game is horrific, and there is legitimate strategies that Bernie Sanders can implement. He's not implementing them. So another thing is, if you see that Biden is deflecting on all his promises, and Joe Biden is literally just giving the F you to the progressive movement, you know what you don't do when he's doing that? You don't praise him. Period. Period. Every time you got a microphone in front of you, point out the fact that he's not getting a public option done. Point out the fact that he's not getting a $15 minimum wage. Point out the fact that he's not canceling student loan debt. Point out the fact that he is complicit with funding the genocide. But they're not doing that because they suck at politics. And that's me. You guys understand. When I say they suck at politics, that is the most charitable, and I see some people in the comments acknowledge this, that's the most charitable breakdown I have. Because the other argument is they doing this on purpose. They're doing this on purpose. And I see a lot of you guys saying that in the comments, and I kind of agree. But I'll tell you, even the most charitable interpretation of this is they are deeply, deeply incompetent. And even that's not good. Right? So, and one last thing, and I'll pass it to Rome here. I hope you guys realize, like, the left needs to move on from Bernie Sanders. I tweeted this last year because Bernie Sanders, the benefit of Bernie was he formed his left-wing movement and transformed a lot of people and moved them to the left. Like, Bernie Sanders radicalized a lot of people, and I still give him credit to this day for that. Despite, you guys know how I feel about Bernie, I still give him credit for creating this movement and dragging a lot of people to the left. But now, you guys understand that Bernie is a relic. Bernie is still a Zionist. As a leftist, Zionism is unacceptable. And I tweeted this last year. The left needs to move on from Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders believes we should fund the police more. Like, these are issues. Like, he don't speak up on Julian Assange. Like, there are new issues. Like, Bernie paved the way for Medicare for all. He paved the way for student loan cancellation. But there's so many state violence issues that Bernie is weak on. Defund the police, Israel-Palestine. He's the PEP. I talked about PEP on my show earlier. PEP was a long-standing acronym that stands for Progressive Accept Palestine. Now, don't get me wrong, he's still better than the average Democrat in Palestine, but he support the two-state solution, and he's still apologizing for the apartheid state of Israel. So he's weak on that issue. He's weak on the issue of defund the police. He's weak on the issue of Julian Assange and free speech. There's so many issues that Bernie is weak on. So what I said is we don't have to cancel Bernie, but the left need moves on. To me, Bernie is just a senator. That's it. He's not a leader. That's it. He's just a senator for Vermont now. And I want the left to acknowledge that. And we need to, like, Bernie Sanders is about as far right you should ever go. We should, like, Bernie Sanders, we should, like, the idea that progressives, like, shifted to the right, now they're apologizing for Democrats, is absurd to me. It should have been the exact opposite. When Bernie Sanders dropped out, we should have doubled down and shifted to the left. Because that's what I did. I was a filthy moderate January last year compared to I am now. I thought I was, but now I'm way further. That's what we should do. We should have went further left than Bernie and deny what he's doing now. So I let Rome go. That was my right on Bernie.
But yeah, man, you're right. Bernie, it's time for us to move off of Bernie for one. Excuse me, hold on 1 second.
Someone sent me some screenshots. I see one of them while Rome was on the phone. I see one of the screenshots where she got ratioed by Rania. Like, I'm glad you guys keep sending me those screenshots if you guys have my Twitter or put it in the comments. I don't care. Because I'm mad. I feel like I missed the best part because I didn't even know that Anna was like getting ratioed to, like, RJ was telling me because I couldn't see it. She had me blocked. Nothing.
Yeah, I think one of the main problems with Bernie in this instance is that we didn't know to the extent how much in the pocket he was to Joe Biden, and that's a very, 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 very bad problem for us.
Unacceptable.
Extremely bad problem.
Unacceptable.
Because instead of Bernie thinking that the moves I make would affect the left movement. He's thinking the moves I make will affect my friend Uncle Joe.
Yes.
And so he's willing to transition to be a progressive in Biden's eyes. Like a progressive in Biden's eyes, to his acceptability, is a moderate Republican. Like Biden is essentially a Reagan Republican. And I think that's a problem. And so when you have
I'm sorry about that, y'all. But yeah, Bernie is I'll give him credit for radicalizing some people, but it doesn't even matter when shit. Most of them niggas already moved back to the right. Like they moved back to where they started. So all that radicalization that we did, all that Nina Turner and all that shit, they right back for taking up for the state. So, Bernie did shift some window, and I guess and probably like 5% of people that's call themselves leftists, but the 90% that was with him went with Joe. And as we can see, it's more of them taking up for Joe than it is of us actually fighting back against Joe. So, shit, do we get points for that? Probably fucking not, because it canceled itself out. And yeah, he's how can I say this? Pied Piper. He's a Pied Piper, I guess.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. He like sheepherding,
especially him taking a younger generation like that and promise us a never land, basically, in his way, with his policies and shit like that, and knowing that, this is in real life, this is a horror story, in all reality, it is a horror story. And all he did was feed us to the Democratic establishment at the end of the day. He did bring us all together, but he did, lead us to a wood chipper. So where have we gotten? I mean, like, even as we stand right here together, that shit fucked up a lot of us. It held back a lot of our, fundraising, being together. Like, we lost a lot of friends because of him. A lot of people looking up to him as some type of political god on the left. And when we said, hey, there is no political gods, there is no masters, there is, we need to take the shit and go farther left. Tell Bernie to run green or run third party, or we're not voting at all. Like, oh, you're gonna, but Bernie said do this, Bernie said do that. Like, no, not me, us. This was the whole thing. So I don't know, man. I don't know. As a nigga that came up under Bernie and met him and did security and all that shit. Hey, it is what it is, man. The nigga is, the nigga, he a lapdog, man. He a lapdog. He a Pied Piper. He's whatever you want to call him, but he's someone that we shouldn't be standing with right now, especially how weak he has been on foreign policy and on state policies. That's Nick had explained to you. And when we was actually trying to tell you, when we had a big problem with this during the campaign, it was a fight inside the campaign about defunding the police and having him come out against the police. But he never really wanted to, because he didn't stand with defund the police. He never did. So when it was time for him to actually say something, he wanted to get the police more money. But he was like, look, we're gonna legalize marijuana and do all this and that, and try to abolish private prisons. But no. Why give the police more money if you want better for the communities? Like, that don't make sense. Like, I don't know. But yeah, Bernie can suck my dick, man. I'm done with him. I'm done. I'm like, if it wasn't for this shit, I'd be done with politics altogether. If politics wasn't an enemy, I wouldn't be into politics.
That's well said.
Let me share this one last thing. I'll pass it to you, RJ. Because if you guys think I am being too hard on Bernie Sanders, I'll let you guys know where I stood last year. And I gave him way more benefit of the doubt than the average person did. This is why I'm going so hard at him. I want to show you these tweets that came before Joe Biden got in. And this is my mindset when it comes to Bernie Sanders. See, you see this tweet right here. I wanted to praise Bernie. I don't know if you guys, I think you guys
got to read the tweet.
Okay, I said, it says, hell, this is the number This is the story when Bernie Sanders shut down government shutdown regarding the payments. This is in December when Josh Hawley and Bernie was teaming up, and this is why I said, "Hell yes, Bernie." I told you guys, and this is in December. I told you guys I am hoping Bernie Sanders becomes Joe Biden and the Democrats' #1 enemy during the Biden administration. So this is where I was at. That's way more benefit of doubt than most people were giving him in December. Here's another one. This is another from December. This is before Biden became president. I am critical of Bernie recently, but nothing makes me more happy than when he does well. I am hoping he becomes Biden's #1 enemy during his administration. I think I got one more. Well, I think there's one more. And there's another one. I'll reply to someone else. And I said, I want Bernie to be the #1 enemy of the Democrats for the next 4 years, like I want liberals to be seething at him every week. Why am I sharing you guys this tweet? Because I want you guys to know where I was coming from. Like, I gave Bernie Sanders the benefit of the doubt way more than most people did. Because a lot of people were done with Bernie after he endorsed Joe Biden. But once again, I acknowledge the inside-outside game. So my position was like, I wish he didn't do that. But if Biden become president and if Bernie Sanders became his #1 enemy, I'd be okay with that. And I'd be praising Bernie. But you see my tweets? He did the exact opposite of my tweets. Well, I said I want him to be the #1 enemy of the Biden administration. Now he's the #1 friend. You guys realize that Bernie Sanders is the guy they quote in all these articles. I show you guys articles when they pretend that Biden the next FDR and why progressives like Biden. You guys realize all those articles they quote Bernie Sanders, right? So Bernie Sanders is effectively manufacturing consent and manufacturing consent for the left for Joe Biden. The exact opposite of what I wanted him to do. So that's why I'm going hard on Bernie Sanders, because and as you guys see in the tweets, and you guys may laugh at me for being naive. That's funny. I guess I deserve it, right? But that's why I go so hard on him, because I gave him the benefit of the doubt, and I don't like being disappointed. But sorry, I'll pass it right back to you, RJ.
Yeah, I think in ways Bernie Sanders, in really the start of 2015, really did combine the left in a way. It made it seem like, okay, this political situation could actually work. Showing yourself as being this anti-establishment figure, standing up for progressive policies, and really gave people really down ballot and lefty organizations, starting at the grassroots level, belief that can actually change their communities, really not only on their own by pushing politicians to do something, but also using Bernie Sanders' networking in terms of mutual aid and in terms of giving money to these leftist organizations. But so what I'm trying to get at is that, yes, he has been good in terms of helping the left, but the way he ended his campaign really up in 2020 actually kind of fractured the left, because a lot of the hardcore revolutionaries were saying, hey, Bernie, keep fighting. The more you piss them off, the establishment, the better it is. You need to keep your, because the one mistake that Bernie did is that he suspended his campaign, which means he forfeited a percentage of his delegates. So if he would have just kept going, bleeding cash, yeah, okay, that's bad, but at least the full delegate count will be kept intact. See, what we've seen even during the DNC convention is that Bernie Sanders won Nevada in a landslide, right? But due to those tricky DNC rules, all the other candidates like Liz Warren, Mayor Pete, when they all dropped out, all the delegates flipped to Joe Biden, and Joe Biden won the state by 1 delegate. So that type of bullshit that happens is really what's crazy. And so when you have the revolutionaries telling Bernie Sanders, hey, keep fighting, and then you have those who are more in touch with Bernie Sanders personally, not just the policies telling him he had to drop out, it creates that big divide of, okay, are we going to actually be more revolutionary, or are we actually going to play the inside-outside game? So I think it still goes with right now with the left is like, okay, you have some leftists who are saying, okay, we could play the inside-out game, we could force politicians to do what we want, and then you have some revolutionaries saying, fuck that, we can just do a general strike, we can do mutual aid and that type of stuff. So I think that divide that really brings is great, but not
like we did hire the squad. We did elect the squad to be, the Tea Party of the left. And this is, oh man, I don't know. It's like some of these weak ass motherfuckers. Oh, you want them to be the Tea Party? Yes, we want them to strong arm. When we say
the Tea Party was successful.
Yes, by the way, every time. Even though what they wanted was hurtful shit, was fucked up things, they still were successful because they didn't give a fuck about what the establishment wanted. They said, look, we will run against you. We would, call you out and make you look bad in all kind of ways. we're gonna put money against you. But these motherfuckers, they can hold bills. You know what I'm saying? They can be as strong as they want, but they are as strong as they want, and as weak as fuck. They're doing what the fuck they want to do, what they need to do, and let's keep enough of us in line. And this is why they coming down on us so hard now, especially with censorship, because they don't want us teaching one another. You have to watch MSNBC. Like, I'm not subscribed. I actually blocked that shit on YouTube, and it still pops up on my page. They are forcing you to cable state news.
That makes a good point, Ro. I think we're gonna transition to another story. I believe yesterday was the 1 year anniversary of the death of George Floyd, and the President of the United States, Joe Biden, he invited the George Floyd family to the White House, really to have really like a photo op, and also to the congressional leaders met with the George Floyd family as well. And the reason why I'm showing you all this video that we see on screen pretty soon is that Nancy Pelosi is out there taking a photo op with the CBC. So once again, the CBC is using themselves as political cons, and Nancy Pelosi pets Gianna's hair without permission. And then also when Joe Biden was talking about his conversations with the Floyd family, he told him, he mentioned that he had Gianna Floyd on his lap and said, "Hey, my wife would be upset with me if I didn't do it." And so it's really fucked up what's going on right now. But let's play this short 30-second clip. Then I'll give some more explanation.
Gianna said, "My daddy will change the world." And indeed, her prediction is coming true. And it's coming true because of so many people who worked so hard for decades to make it come true. Gianna said, "My daddy will change the world."
I like how she was like, "Don't touch my motherfucking head, bitch." She's like, just, kids can feel that evilness, man. Kids can really feel when you evil. Like, don't touch my hair. Don't touch me. Like, for real. I like that from that girl. I like that reaction from that girl because kids can really tell when you are a fucked up human being. And for her to use her quote and her father's death, yeah, I'm pretty sure that girl gonna grow up with some resentment against the American government for sure. When she actually learned how Joe Biden built the system that murdered her father, how these people actually was using her father to pass money, to laundry money to the police departments with the George Floyd Care Act, I'm pretty sure. You know what I'm saying? And I think one of his older daughters was protesting the meetup. I think she was protesting because he didn't meet her expectations like AOC would want you to believe. Because they are giving the police more money. They are still, busting our heads in right now. And as we speak, these fucking Democrats are trying to fucking pass bills to shut up protesters. And they say, oh, it's because of January 6th. This was the worst attack on American soil since fucking whenever the fuck, I don't know, whatever they're gonna use next. They didn't use
that. It was lying, by the way. It was lying, but go ahead.
Yeah. Oh my bad. But yeah, I'm like, man, they using that shit that happened on January 6th with the megas, all this shit to shut us up. And people like, oh well, I had some people that was coming against me saying, oh, you believe 9/11 was an inside job? I say, I just believe that America don't give a fuck about killing its citizens, and if they have to use that to capitalism, they have to use these bodies to make money, they will. And I don't, what I'm saying, I don't put nothing under or above them. You know what I'm saying? That's why all this shit is just plots, man.
You mentioned January 6th. I'm gonna get back to the subject at hand. We talking about George Floyd Democratic Party, but let me say this on January 6th. I try to play nice with you guys. With you guys, I mean the liberals and the political establishment that put January 6th, because obvious that there's just derangement about that used for political purposes. But I was like, whatever, it's cool. They got this little thing they want to push. It's whatever. But January 6th is a fucking joke, and I am officially speaking out against it now, and I am calling out anyone who concern trolls over it. Because once again, I was gonna let you guys have it. I was gonna let you guys have your delusion. I was gonna let you guys have your January 6th derangement syndrome. But the exact second they start using January 6th to fund the police more and to strip our civil liberties, now it's personal. Now it's personal. And people got the nerve to get mad at me when I was laughing at them when January 6th happened. Hell yeah, it was funny. And I'll say it again, it was hella funny because what happened was there was a bunch of white people who they were trying to do a publicity stunt for Donald Trump because it helped the Democratic Party and it helped the Republican Party. It helped the Republican Party because it gives them the illusion that they're going along with the election interference so they don't lose their base. And it helped the Democratic Party because what the Democratic Party been doing since January 6th? They've been using January 6th to attack the Republican Party and to fundraise. So it benefits both parties. And then the Capitol Police.
Don't forget, they impeached Trump while he was out of office already. Don't forget.
Yeah. So the Capitol Police, and this is why I'm tired of the crocodile tears. I'm tired of it because the Capitol Police let the protesters in. The Pentagon was complicit with it. That's why they didn't send the National Guard. So you had the government that was complicit with this action, but they want us to be, oh my God, January 6th. No, I want you guys to realize that this is based in racism, by the way. Why did I say that? Because once again, they assumed that the whites was going to play nice. There was a bunch of white people. So like, oh, we let them storm the Capitol for this publicity stunt. Because the assumption was they wouldn't go too crazy. And then they went too crazy. That's why I say it's a publicity stunt gone wrong. And now they try to cover their tracks. More tragedy in American history. You guys were complicit with the tragedy. And now you're using it to fund the police that is killing our people more. So once again, I said I allowed you guys to have your delusion. I wasn't going to ruin your bubble on this. But now that you guys use it to steal our liberties, anyone who concerned troll with January 6th, I'm going to block you. I'm going to follow. I'm going to call you out because it's bullshit. And it's been driving me crazy because I still remember there was a ton of people who got mad at me when I was joking about January 6th, ignoring the fact that the entirety of Black Twitter was mocking it. People were like, oh, this is fascism taking over the United States. This is the worst thing that happened in American history. Guys, this is not even top 100. Like, they weren't even ranking the top 100 of the worst things that happened in American history. This was a crime against the oligarchy. It scared, like one of the comments said, it scared AOC, even though she wasn't in the building. It scared a lot of ruling class. So now it's a big deal. Americans dying because they don't have health care? Oh, that's not a big deal. That's not a big deal.
We literally bombed our own country. We bomb our own countries when communities are doing too good or doing too well. You know what I'm saying? Like this is far from the worst thing. And if they feel like they aren't tough enough for this position, then they should fucking quit because your life is on the line. Even as a community organizer, as a political commentator, your life is on the fucking line, period. No matter what you are doing, your life is on the line. So if you feel like, oh, these fucking MAGAs or these communists are going to kill me, well, bitch, you don't need to be in government. Get your ass on and go be a fucking, go bake some cookies or go, you know what I'm saying? Go be a fucking dry cleaning service. I don't know. Go do some shit that's not violent. Don't put your fucking life in the line. You know what I'm saying? Don't even bake because shit, y'all don't know how to do shit. You might set the fucking kitchen on fire. I wouldn't even trust a politician in the fucking kitchen. But yeah, these people just need to get the fuck on. If you feel like, if you feel like some shit gonna happen to you, oh, we can't go to our jobs and shit like that, but do it at home. Do it anywhere because y'all don't do it any fucking way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like I said, I just called on anyone to call this BS on January 6th because the squad complicit with it. They use it to expand the power of the state. And once again, I was willing to let you guys have your delusion about January 6th to fundraise off of it. You guys notice I didn't tweet about it. I wasn't like tweeting about it in a negative way ever since it happened. I made my jokes at the time and I let it go. It wasn't something I was focused on. But now that they're using it to fund the police more, once again, it's personal now. And I call for any leftists who actually stand for police abolition, you guys should be speaking out on the Democratic Party trying to manufacture consent for the police state by bringing up January 6th, which was a joke. Anyway, I had to bring that up because I want that to be on the record because I'm tired of January 6th. And a lot of people are starting to get tired of it too. And the people on the left that continue to prop this up with the Democratic Party, this is why I say you're not my allies, because you are complicit with funding the state that's killing our people. Anyway, we brought that up because we were talking about George Floyd and the family. And it I think that's relevant to what I'm talking about too. Because one of the reasons why I hate the Democratic Party, and one of the reasons why you never get any sympathy out of the Democratic Party for me, because they are the biggest enemies of the Black American community. Why do I say that? So I brought this down on this show before. But when Republicans speak out, when Republicans like laugh at George Floyd, when they laugh at the people that have been killed by the police, that helps us. There's a reason why defund the police has skyrocketed in popularity. We're mostly independent supported now because they saw the rhetoric from the right, and the right, once again, just like the issue of gay marriage, just like the issue of wages, just like the issue of healthcare, they lose the battle of ideas. And I'm like, all right, go ahead, Ben. Go ahead, Ben Shapiro. Go ahead, Candace Owens. Tweet away. Because whenever Candace Owens says that George Floyd is a thug who deserved to die, we get more support for our cause. So they're not a threat. You want to know who's the threat? The threat is the party that parades George Floyd's family like a political prop in order to justify funding the police that killed him more. And you guys want me to be scared about the Republican Party. The Republican Party are fucking clowns. The Democratic Party accomplished more in destroying the Black community than the Republicans can wish. Because remember, it was Clinton that did welfare reform. It was him that did that. He deregulated Wall Street that led to them illegally foreclosing on Black homes. It was Black Lives Matter that started under Obama. Like these things, they pretend to be on our side and they use political capital to crush our communities. So they are way more dangerous than the Republican Party, where we can defeat on a battle of ideas. So that's my take on the George Floyd thing. It's very disgusting, but it doesn't surprise me. And just like Rome said, I hope and I think that little girl's gonna grow up. Like she don't know what's going on right now. I think like for her point of view, she sees a lot of people that show sympathy for her father. I think that's what she really believes. But eventually she's gonna grow up and she's gonna realize that they would use that political prop. And when that happens, I really hope that she's angry as I am. Because I've seen this pattern my entire life and it's completely unacceptable and it drives me crazy. And there's nothing but that rage that comes out of me when I see that clip of the George Floyd family being exploited by the Democratic Party. When will our people get off the plantation? This is my work. This is what we're doing at the Fairhampton Leftists. This is what we are committed to. It's getting as many of these motherfuckers off the plantation as possible. Because the Democratic Party is not an enemy. Income inequality got worse. Racial income inequality got worse under Barack Obama. It's going to get worse under Biden. Because I want you guys to understand this. And this is my last point. I'll pass it back to RJ. The numbers for racial income inequality is pre-COVID. Because whenever I quote these and whenever I look, the only stats they have is like 2015 and 2016. They're going to do research on this. And COVID made the racial income inequality way worse. Because Black businesses that were suffering, that were closed, that were being denied PPP loans. It was the Black America that literally got to pay all the healthcare costs because we were less likely to be insured. We were the ones devastated the most by COVID. So this is going to hurt our economic outlook when it comes to like us fighting for jobs. Like this is going to hurt our community. And I can't even wrap my mind around the racial income because there's a giant cash grab by the billionaires. The billionaires got unbelievably rich on the pandemic. Meanwhile, Americans are paying $12 billion in overdraft fees. So when you see that number where Americans are paying $12 million in overdraft fees, who do you think is a large percentage of that? Disenfranchised communities. So I'm going to be watching closely, and you're going to see on the show when it comes out, because we haven't seen racial income inequality numbers in a while. But when it comes out, it's going to be devastating, and that's going to happen under Biden's policies. Because Biden left people to die, and he's like, you go die for capitalism. I'm not going to give you a living wage. I'm not going to give you health care. I'm not going to give you UBI. So he's complicit with the black community tanking. Woo, RJ, what's your thoughts? I went long enough, but that just drives me crazy to see how they just use our bodies to increase their political capital. That's all I gotta say on that.
I do want to talk about really the political scenario that's going on right now. I mentioned earlier that George Floyd was murdered a year ago yesterday, and by the way, Joe Biden himself promised multiple occasions that he would pass the George Floyd Act by the time on the 1 year anniversary of George Floyd. Now, many leftists like us, we agree that that bill is trash because it's funding the police state, which we all agree, which is terrible. But if you're thinking in a liberal mindset, like my family is full of right-wing liberals, you're going to piss them off too by not even passing the bill. So not only are we pissed, but they're pissed as well. So it's really not going to look good for you in the purely political sense going down ballot, right? And that's what's really shocking to me about this whole scenario. And what I wanted to, we're kind of running out of time here, for instance, but it really kind of bleeds into with Joe Biden's inability to really use the muscle to pass anything legislatively done with the White House, right? And the Biden administration in general, with these new budget reconciliation rules that just came out, the Senate parliamentarian actually gave them permission to actually do shit that we elected them to do. So, yay, guys, we're finally going to get some shit. Well, we'll see. But they said that they can pass they could continue to pass multiple bills under the same rule of budget reconciliation for the infrastructure package, and as well as for, I believe, the one more. I can't remember what it is right now. But the issue is that they believe, the Congress people, they believe they're not going to be able to pass it until fall. Now, here's the problem with that. By the time the fall comes, you have different type of recesses, right? You got the late summer recess, you got the Thanksgiving recess, all the different type of recesses that Congress has. And then towards the end of the year, you have like the deficit ceiling. You have the new budget that comes out for the next year. Yeah. So all of that would go at the exact same time. Now, we all know Congress can't walk and chew gum at the same time. Mm-hmm. So the biggest worry is that even the George Floyd Act, and as well as these new budget reconciliation bills, they may not even pass. And by the time this year ends and the new year begins, that's a new legislative session will start. That means that all the Congress people will be thinking about their reelection campaigns. So all the time is burnt out. And this is what the establishment does all the time. They always wait out the clock. The Republicans, they know what they're doing. They're never going to split because they know, hey, the Democrats are cucks. They're always going to go for what they want. And look
they don't have Mitch McConnell. They ain't got Mitch McConnell to blame that shit on. Oh, they're sitting on Mitch McConnell's desk. No, they're not. No, they're not.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And here's the issue, though. Like, even when Biden was campaigning in the primaries, he was for a $5 trillion, I'm probably undercutting it, but he was for a $5 trillion infrastructure plan package. Joe Manchin was, I believe, at $8 trillion. Okay. Biden went down to $2.7 trillion. Republicans had a counteroffer of $908 billion. Then Joe Biden brings it down to 1.7. And now the Republicans are offering $738 billion. So the way things are going is that the Democrats aren't understanding that this isn't how a negotiation works. Since you're the ones in fucking power, you set the negotiating table. Like, why are you moving down when you don't even need their votes in general? Like, this is budget reconciliation. You don't need their votes.
Thank you. Thank you.
So that's the problem.
Motherfuckers keep saying that shit. Well, Democrats got you the stimulus package. First of all, I ain't getting no stimulus package. Second of all, if no Republicans voted on the stimulus package, why did they negotiate the fucking numbers down? They could have passed any bill they wanted. They could have gave everybody $20 billion if they fucking wanted to. Republicans wouldn't have voted on it, and it still would have passed.
And this is why that we need to slander Joe Biden more, as well as Kamala, because she's just the black face. So, and by the way, when the George Floyd family was there, Lil Baby, the rapper, was there, took a picture with Kamala. So that's all Kamala is now, just the black celebrity face to make all the black bourgeoisie happy. Uncle Joe, he's just there to tell black folks, look, y'all, I was friends with the first nigga president, so stick with me. You ain't got no other choice. What are y'all gonna do? Go to Orange Donnie? Nope. So it's a trap. I mean, this is what the establishment has learned, right? And like Rome said, like they had the votes. They didn't need to have to listen to Republicans, but they always do. And what I wanted to say is that we should slander Joe Biden some more because he's the president. Okay, he could do whatever the fuck he wants. He can threaten people. He can bribe people. He can give people whatever the fuck he wants. The same way he gave Joe Manchin's wife a specific administrative role in the White House, he could do some old type of other shit to get what he wants. But he doesn't do it. He gives it Joe Manchin because he likes Joe Manchin. But he doesn't do it for anybody else to get anything he wants. And so this notion that Biden is somehow the FDR, which is completely untrue. He's not even Lyndon Johnson. At least Lyndon Johnson would threaten and bribe people to get what he wants. Joe Biden's just sitting there. Like, this is what I predicted years ago. I mean, Joe Biden is essentially the Gerald Ford and Jimmy Carter. Ran his campaign like Jimmy Carter, governed like Gerald Ford. No one's going to know what the fuck he's doing because nothing is basically admirable. So I just went on a huge rant about that. What do you guys think about really the budget reconciliation talks that's going on right now, and if it will pass, and what's your overall feel? And then we'll wrap up.
This is a long-standing strategy of the Democratic Party. I called it out. I mean, I honestly don't know how people see it. Like, how did they not see this? Like Joe Biden could do whatever he wanted and pass amazing packages for the American people and dominate 2022 and 2024. If Joe Biden cancels student loan debt, he don't even have to do Medicare for all. I think he should, but honestly, with the way the media and the way American people just eat wherever the politicians give you up, if Joe Biden just did a public option, a $15 minimum wage, and cancel some of the student loan debt, so not even do what I think he should do, like even just the bare minimum, and gave a $2,000 check, and gave more UI benefits. 2022 would have been a landslide of historic proportions if he did that. 2024, if they continue that up and continue to get progressive policies that American people support, they will win. They would have won 2024 by like 40 states if they actually did some of these popular things. But what's going to happen now? For no reason whatsoever, the Democratic Party is not going to do none of this stuff because it's a strategy. Then the Republicans are going to win in 2022, which is okay for them because the Democrats that lost become lobbyists. They get MSNBC positions, they get CNN positions, so they are still paid. The people who lose. So they don't lose. So they lose seats. Now the pressure is off the Democratic Party. But now Joe Biden and the party can say, "Oh, we tried." See,
don't forget, because we're gonna have to bring this up. We're gonna have to do our job and bring this up. That nigga, motherfucking Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden kept saying that we need a strong Republican Party. Yep. This is the reason why they aren't fighting. This is the reason why they holding back on bills. Can I do my damn job? Can you shut the fuck up?
No, y'all held that shit.
Can you shut the fuck up? Can I do my damn job?
No, what's that? Learn your job. Y'all did that shit.
Natasha, shut the fuck up.
I'm Natasha. I've been doing this shit my whole life.
Well, I've been doing this shit professionally. Longer.
Mm-hmm. Told y'all, stop letting these people run.
Anyways. What was I?
Learning your life. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, this is my crazy cousin. It's my crazy cousin.
Whatever. I ain't got time for that shit.
Whatever.
Okay. I think you were talking. I totally forgot what you're talking about.
Damn it. Nick, what
we were talking about how the Democratic Party is. And that's why I was laying out earlier. This is a strategy. Like, this is not an accident. Like, this is what they do, so they lose on purpose.
Yeah. They lose on purpose. Yeah, they've been asking for a strong Republican Party. This is what they want. They need that opposition. They need that. They need these people to play democratic, you know what I'm saying, to play political theater with you. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't work if it's one party on the fucking stage. It doesn't work. It doesn't, you know what I'm saying? So they're going to lose. They're not going to pass anything. And if you haven't got anything in the first 100 days, you're not going to get anything. So don't be looking and don't be holding your fucking hand out, bitch, because we told you what was going to happen. And that shit is happening right now. So it is what it is. Don't blame me when you don't get another stimulus. Like how Google right now, you can almost click on every Google. Once you open your Google, you're going to see, they're going to say, is we getting another stimulus package? No, we're not. No, we're not. They don't give a fuck about you. They're going to lose. They're going to lose more seats than what they lost during the Obama administration, which was 1,000-something seats. 1,000-something plus seats.
Well said, Rome. We have 6 minutes left, so I think it's a good time to really wrap up and ask everyone what their plans are for their own shows and really some final thoughts. So let's go at Rome.
My final thoughts is shit. Kill the establishment, man. Get out here and fight. Like, stop giving your money to politicians. They don't give a fuck about you. Why is you giving time? Like, even I had to learn this the hard way. We don't need none of this shit. Like, and as a human being, a lot of us are conditioned to think that we can't live as humans off the grid. Just really go back to being what humans were. And I'm here to say that's bullshit. You know, and if it takes for us to get off the grid in order for us to really flex our power, that's what's gonna need to happen. But as long as we are doing what these capitalists want, we're never gonna get a head up. We're never gonna get our leg up to take a piss on them.
Well said. All right, Nick, any final thoughts?
So that dynamic that we just went over, people like, because now I'm doing my victory tour, to be honest, because I got so much shit for not voting for Joe Biden, and I told everyone what was gonna happen. Like, people was quoting Biden's platform to me as a reason why I should vote for him. I mean, I had a conversation with Bosch, and he made a big deal, like, "Oh, Biden platform did." My question to you: how much of that platform has he got done? And people were like, "Oh, how do you know? How do you know that Biden was going to do nothing on his platform?" Because I just explained to you the pattern. They did them multiple times. Like, people really think that Biden was going to live up to the answer to the call of the day and do the right thing because he cared about the people. You got to have the political instincts of a fucking ant to believe that. And that what people was preaching to people. That what progressive was preaching. That what the TYTs was preaching. The David Doles, the Vosses were preaching, like, "Oh, the Democrat Party actually cares about you, so I promise you they'll be better." But what I just laid out, when Democrats purposely don't do stuff and they lose the Republican on purpose, so they can get so they can fundraise more and they get lobbyist gigs when they lose. This is a long-standing pattern. They did under Obama too. So I'm just following historical precedent. This is why I was able to see everything that Biden done coming, because he has a 40-year record. Well, he was the Senate's most conservative Democrat. Yet y'all surprised that he was conservative. That's how I was able to see that come. So I can't wait to talk about this, because I announced it earlier. We'd have Jimmy Dore on the show. So I'll let you guys sorry about that in the comments. So that's what we have planned. That should be Saturday. We got a lot of great guests. I still have a lot of great things I'm working on. I'm still working on getting Fred Hampton Jr. on the show. My man Anthony Clark going to introduce us, and that's going to be a hoop. So we got a lot of good stuff coming up. So I appreciate everyone for watching. Hit the bell. Support us on Patreon. Fred Hampton Leftist, exactly how it's spelled, on Patreon. We'll have the link in the description as well. So please support the channel, and we will continue to grow and we will continue to do great things. Thank you, everyone, for watching.
Perfect. And for my show, I'll make this 30 seconds or less. My show for Revolutionary Jargon this Friday, I'll have my friend Ian on. He is a Democratic Socialist, and he is a member of DSA. He is also a member of our shared colleges, YDSA, so it'll be great to have him on to discuss what's going on with Israel, as well as really the different fractions of the left. So tune in for that Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and thank you guys for watching.